So in this video, I wanted to talk about which camera I would buy if I was in the market of getting a new camera right today. And it's June 2023. Let's talk about it. Oh, and by the way, today I'm shooting at f1.6. I know, it's not very common, but I figured what the hell. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom, and if you're new here, this channel is all about cameras and lenses. And I'm gonna try to use some reverse psychology. Please do not subscribe to this channel. No? Today's video topic is gonna be about cameras, duh. And it's gonna be about which camera I would buy if I was in the market of getting a new camera. So, because I do have a bunch of Sony lenses, it was such an expensive trip for me when I was switching over from Panasonic to Sony, because basically all of my Panasonic lenses and Olympus lenses were basically useless when I switched over to the Sony full frame system. And so if I was to get a new camera today, I would have to pick a Sony camera. And today I sort of think that when it comes to camera labels and brands, I think that it's between Canon and Sony, you know, when it comes to king of camera brands. But that's just my personal preference based on what I've read on all the cameras. And if you're using Fujifilm or anything like that, I'm not knocking you or anything like that. So, which camera would I be getting today? So, when the Sony A7S III came out, I was jealous like crazy and I wanted to get it, but the one thing that kept me back was 12 megapixel. I'll be the first to admit that I don't take a lot of photos with my cameras these days. I sometimes do some weddings and I sometimes do some landscape photography and stuff like that, but most of my shots are actually taken with the iPhone. So I don't really need 24 megapixels or anything higher than that, but I still think that if you're gonna drop like something like $3,000 on a camera, 3,000 or 4,000 or more, you at least have to have 24 megapixels. That's just the way I roll. That's the way I think about it. Now, another thing that I really enjoyed about the Sony A7S III is the 4K 120. I'm not so much for the whole low light situation with the Sony A7S III, which a lot of YouTubers will say is like the best feature. But personally, when I shoot my videos, it's usually in a lit environment. I'm never like outside in the complete darkness shooting videos, so I don't really need that low light performance. And also with really good lenses at f1.4, you don't really need to have like a very good low light camera, you know? So I'm not too interested in that. But the 4K 120, that was very important to me. So I was thinking, if I was to get a camera today that would basically tick all the boxes, it would be maybe the Sony A1, which has 8K, has 4K 120, like 50 megapixels or something like that. And I was like, yes, this camera is quite expensive, but this is the camera I will get. But it does not have a flippy screen, you know, so an articulating screen, if you prefer me to use that term instead. I call it a flip screen, but you know what I'm saying. It doesn't have that. You know, it just has a little bit of a wobble thing screen. It's just not enough for me. I need to be able to look at myself in the screen when I'm recording a video. So the Sony A1, as cool as it is, because of the lack of a selfie screen, I can't do it. You know, I just can't do it. So it's out. And so I've been looking basically, you know what? I'm just gonna cut to the chase. I'm just gonna tell you which camera I would get. It is the Sony A7R 5. And I want to explain to you why. So this one basically ticks off all the boxes. It has 60 megapixels. It has 8K video, which is overkill, I'll admit it, but it's nice to have it if you know how to use it. And if you can have the computer that can handle it. And it also does not have 4K 120, but it does have 4K 60, which is good enough to get some slow motion B-roll. It's good enough for me. I could definitely live with that. I would have preferred it to be 4K 120, but 4K 60 is actually very nice. And it does have a flippy screen. And so I think that it has a lot of qualities that I really would like. Now, there is a camera that will probably do a lot better, and it's the latest Sony ZV E10, I think it's called that. It's basically the one that's like the Sony A7S III. It's really cool, and it ticks almost all the boxes, but 12 megapixels, no 8K, one card slot. It's not a very comfortable camera to hold. Now, trust me when I tell you this, because I'm using the Sony A7C. Again, I can't talk today. The Sony A7C, and it is not comfortable to hold. Now, even if you use something like the Sony ZV1, it's also not very comfortable to hold, but it's sort of lightweight, so it's okay. But if you're gonna use something like the Sony ZV E10 and you're gonna put on a big lens, like a fast lens or something like that, it's just not gonna be comfortable. I know what I'm talking about. So that one is just out, unfortunately. It does have some cool modes though. I'll be the first to admit it. I really want it, but if I was to have it, I would not be able to get rid of my Sony A7C. I would have to be stuck having two cameras. And I would just like to have, you know, one camera and one lens. That is my ideal. Like, I have a bit of a minimalistic view on cameras and lenses, and I'm looking for that optimal system where I have one of everything. It just feels weird to have several cameras and lenses. This is just a personal preference thing. If you're a type of person that enjoys having several cameras and several lenses, which most photographers and videographers are, but that's fine. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. It's just a personal preference thing. If I was to get one today, it would be the Sony A7R 5. I would say that the biggest downside of it is not the 4K 120 frames per second or lack of it. It's the price. It's about $5,000. It's not the cheapest camera in the bunch. It's a lot of money, and it will be the one thing that will be sort of holding me back, because I'll be like, really? I have to spend this much on a camera? But yeah, considering how much I use my camera, it's not a bad investment for, you know, the type of person that I am, which is basically a content creator. So yeah, that's the camera I would get. There are many cool cameras out there. It's a difficult decision sometimes because there is no perfect camera. Every camera is sort of good at certain things, but it always has some huge drawback, you know. I just wish that the Sony ZV E10 had 24 megapixels. If it only had that, I would definitely get it, because I think that the price is right and I could live with the uncomfortable handling grip of it, but it's just that lack of 24 megapixels. That's one thing I could not live with. Anyway, I would like to know which camera you would get today, if any camera was on the table for you to pick, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.